right, so today we are actually going to be reacting to Aurora. Aurora is actually one of my favorite contemporary artists, so I have seen quite a few performances of her. She came out with a new single relatively recently called Cure for Me, which is amazing. I have not seen her do a live performance of Cure for Me yet. I have not watched any live performances. So anyway, this is Aurora, Cure for Me. She is the spirit voice in Frozen 2. If you don't know who Aurora already is, I believe she's from Norway. We also have some video requests that we recently got. So I will be doing another different Ariana Grande performance coming up soon and a couple of other requests as well. So if you have any requests, feel free to leave them in the comments. I would love to have more material to react to. And if you feel so compelled, please like and subscribe to the Opera Cecilia YouTube channel for more artistic director reaction videos and more really cool content about the rest of our inaugural season and our overall mission as a company and kind of taking you backstage of our future production. So all of that is wrapped up in this channel. So please like and subscribe, support Opera Cecilia. All right, so without further ado, here is Aurora singing Cure for Me as a live performance.
I run from the liars, the fuel on the fire. I know I created myself. I know I can't fight the sad days and bad nights, but I never asked for your help. You get hurt, but we don't belong together. So you took the love from my arms into the arms of yours, but I don't need a cure for me. I don't need it. No, I don't need a cure for me. I don't need it. No, I don't need a cure.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. So that is our first kind of section of this song. And I'm gonna talk briefly about the three main criteria for a hit song. The first of which is the instrumentals are just as catchy as the vocals. A lot of times in a lot of contemporary music that I hear, the instrumental is kind of just like a bassline accompaniment, and it's really the vocalist that kind of provides the hook. There's a couple parts that are definitely catchy or get stuck in my head, especially when I first listened to the song. And one of them was, from my arms into thee. That just kind of like those runs got really stuck in my head and are definitely kind of infectious or addicting to listen to. And then I don't need a cure for me. The way she sings that is also very infectious and addicting. But then that dun 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 dun, that thing going on, that is very infectious and addicting. So you're layering multiple hooks on top of each other, and that is definitely grounds for a song that is going to be a hit among its listeners. The second criteria is little affectations or unique things that the song has to offer that other songs don't offer. And I think Aurora captures this so beautifully in her music. Every single piece of her music that I have listened to has very distinct melodic contour to it, very distinct instrumentation, and it's all uniquely Aurora. It's all very much her, and I can tell that it's a song by Aurora, but none of it is exactly the same. All of them are so nuanced and unique, and I think that's the mark of an artist that's really trying to be innovative in the industry, and that's something I appreciate a lot from her. The third thing that I really like to look out for in like a really good song is a great message. And not every single song has to have the most profound moral message in the world. But what I love about this song is it is such a confident, empowering message of self-acceptance. Accepting yourself even when oftentimes I can't get these headphones to stay straight on my head right now for some reason. Loving yourself even though other people might not necessarily accept you for who you are. And in a society where we are constantly exposed to things like social media, other electronic means of accessing each other's personal lives, and we're always seeing the highlight reels of other people's lives, and it's so easy to live in a sense of self-comparison, and where kids are not only bullied in schools, but can also be bullied online at home, and adults even get bullied online as well. In a world where it feels often hard to be accepted, having a song to listen to like this, where you can just feel empowered and comfortable in your own skin, is really a gift. So high praise to Aurora and her team for creating such a cool piece that definitely references messages of self-empowerment interlaid with super playful instrumental and vocal hooks, and a really cool melody. As far as her vocalism is concerned, Aurora is really taking this kind of calm, and I think that's for expressive purposes. Her movements are actually a little bit more deliberate. Sometimes her movements are more impulsive on stage in other performances I've seen of hers, but here they're actually a little bit more focused and deliberate, and I think that that reflects the message of the song. Genuine confidence doesn't necessarily try to be a show-off all the time, so she's keeping her movements a little bit more calculated, and she's expressing her message calmly with her vocals. You're not seeing a bunch of vocal pyrotechnics right now, even though we're not really at the part of the song where that would happen. She's also not starting off with too much energy, which means she'll probably give us more energy later. All right, let's keep going.
I don't like the tension, the misapprehensions about our nature and love. The glorious teachers are no use for creatures who knows how to play with the gods. You got nerves, but they never show unless they hurt. So you blamed it all on my love. The moving heart I got, but I don't need a cure for me. I don't need it. No, I don't need a cure for me. I don't need it. No.
All right, before we keep going, what I loved and what I did notice was that gradual gain in energy in the second verse. She started bringing a little bit more of her chest voice up. It was a very subtle shift, but she was actually using a little bit more what sounded like a mix to me in the first verse, and now she's using more chest. So even though the melody itself is staying the same, she's ramping up the energy with the way that she's using her voice. The other thing that I wanted to talk a lot about here was the fact that she's also starting to move more. She's starting to dance more. So everything about the performance is gradually gaining energy as time goes on. And I love the way that she dances on stage. Some people think that some of her movements are kind of erratic, but here it's a lot more calculated than normal. But I actually like the fact that she's not afraid to go with her impulses on stage. I think that that's a part of her artistry. Some people are movers and some people aren't movers. If you hear Adele sing on stage, a lot of times she's just standing pretty still in front of a mic or has small gestures, and that's a part of her artistry. But if you watch Aurora, she's moving a lot, and it's because she feels the music in her body in a different way, and that's totally fine. You see that with classical singers too, like Cecilia Bartoli is a lot more of a mover on stage, especially facially, than somebody like Luciano Pavarotti, who actually stayed pretty still and didn't have a lot of variance in his facial expressions or in his bodily movements when he wasn't doing an operatic performance with full blocking. So it happens across genres. I'm definitely more of a mover on stage, so I deeply identify with Aurora's identity as a mover, and I think it can be very expressive and cool. Awesome. So a lot of people that listen to these performances in the contemporary music industry might automatically, if they see like Aurora spin around like that and she didn't finish a phrase, but the phrase keeps going in the track, that they think she's lip syncing. I don't actually think, because of what happened later in the video when the phrase actually wasn't finished and it just dropped off because she was no longer singing into the mic. I don't think that she was lip syncing here at all. I think that oftentimes a lot of these people will make like pre-synthesized versions where their own vocals are as kind of like a backing vocal, especially for these parts of the song toward the end where it works a lot more in a recording atmosphere than it does in a live performance, because there's multiple layers of the song going at one time. And it's usually the singer singing all those layers, and they're layered together in the recording studio during the recording process. We did something similar with our first opera here at Opera Cecilia, actually. The chorus of our opera is actually only sung by my husband and myself. But I'm singing both soprano and alto, and he's singing both tenor and baritone, because the ranging worked out that we could do both parts. And so it sounds like four people singing together, layering different harmonies in different parts of the melody, fragmented in pieces, but it's actually all put together to sound like there are four voices singing instead of just two. They do this a lot in contemporary music to kind of layer and make songs more interesting, or to sound like they're coming up to a finale at the end. That's to my limited understanding. I have to do a little more research on this topic, but I have done some, and that's kind of what I've figured out. So it's not always that the artist isn't singing live. There are definitely some artists who lip sync in their performances for sure. But in this case, I think it was just that Aurora was singing on top of her own voice being recorded as kind of a backing vocal. So there were some recorded, synthesized aspects to this performance, and then definitely she had a live band with her as well. I also really want to praise the creativity of her band. Like the musicians that she collaborates with, they come up with such interesting instrumentals, such interesting backup vocal harmonies. Like the way that her songs are layered together because of her and her team are so creative and nuanced and interesting. And it's always something different, which is why I love Aurora's music so much. There's always a variety, but it's always all her too, authentically her. So overall, I enjoyed this performance. I enjoy Aurora so much. Is this the absolute best vocal performance I've ever seen Aurora do live? No. I don't think the song is as conducive to that. This is more of a fun and playful song about self-empowerment. She's done a lot of really heartfelt more stand and sing numbers, or more stand with body gestures numbers in her case, that I think show off a little bit more of like what she can really do vocally. But I think for the sake of this performance, her vocal expression was very accurate with the message of the song, and that overall she gave a very expressive and well nuanced performance. This is an artist that I think is really paving a really, really cool path for herself in the music industry. And I love the fact that she's not afraid to be herself, and she doesn't just give in to what alt pop artists are doing. She is just her through and through. I thought the expression and like the process of creating this song was a little bit more interesting, but let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this performance by Aurora, or if there are any other videos by Aurora that you would like me to react to. Please like and subscribe to the Opera Cecilia YouTube channel once again to see more of these videos. Aurora, we love you here at Opera Cecilia, and we hope to hear more from you in the future. We're excited for any new music you have coming out, and we are following your career. I will see you all around here soon. Bye.